I'm ChezPride and welcome back to another Sims related video. And in this video, I want to go over a bunch of free Pride content that we got in The Sims 4 this week, and then talk about some other Sims franchise stuff as well. And I am aware that it's like the middle of the weekend now, and the stuff has been in the game and going on in the Sims community since like the middle of the week. But the day this update randomly just dropped, it was actually a planned tattoo day for me. So obviously I couldn't do it then. And then the next day I had a cyst burst on the inside of me and I was in extreme pain. So I had to take it a little bit easy after that. And then I had company. So it's been a crazy last few days. So I am sorry I'm talking about this new stuff a little bit late. But I feel like I had a decent reason. And you guys know how much I like to show off Pride content and just be very prideful for the LGBT community in general on my channel. So it felt like I couldn't just not talk about a new Pride patch, especially when we got stuff in both Create Sim and Build and Buy mode. Funny enough, the day that this SDX drop dropped, I had just finished editing my last build that I posted, and if you missed it, it was actually a rainbow themed build that had a bunch of Pride things in it, and I was just like, damn, if I had just waited another day or two, I could have included the new Pride objects. But to be fair, this wasn't exactly a SDX drop that they announced ahead of time, and the timing was a little random. But like I said, I will always take free content, more so if it is Pride content. But either way, you guys know me, when new content comes out, I like to jump into the game and find all the new objects I can and look at all the different swatches up close and personal. It is an SDX drop though, so it isn't like a shit ton of content, but it's more than other SDX drops that we've gotten. And like I said, it's free and it also doesn't mess with mods. So before I actually jump into my game and show you all the new content and all the new swatches, the Sims team did actually release a little bit of a reveal trailer the day the SDX drop did drop, so that you can kind of see what to look for when you go into your game. Because if you didn't know, unlike paid DLC, when you get this new free content in your game, they don't mark it for some reason. Like when you buy stuff, when you go into your game, until you click an object, it is going to be starred every time you download a new pack. But when we get free patch updates, we don't get the items starred, so you basically just have to filter by base game and see what is new. And when they started doing these free patch update SDX drop type things, they wouldn't tell you what we got. Like they would just be like, hey, by the way, new SDX drop in your game, go figure it out, good luck. And we'd have to like scan through the items and be like, what's new? And if you're not playing all the time, a lot of time you have no idea. So at least with these, you're able to kind of see what to look for, even if the objects aren't starred. But I think the object should be starred. So that is just my personal little rant there, but I won't continue it now. So this is definitely not the first free Pride themed patch update or SDX drop that we've gotten, and that is not a complaint at all. Like I said, I will always take more free content, especially Pride themed, but it does kind of have a pattern of what kind of things we get in these patch updates or SDX drops, whatever you want to call it. Now, obviously here in the first shot, you can see we're getting new eyeshadow, but to kind of just go over what kind of things we've gotten in the past with these updates, we've gotten like t-shirts and bodysuits and nails that were all like different Pride colors or rainbow themes. And then in build mode, we've gotten like Pride artwork, Pride flags that has all the different flag categories on it. So just stuff like that. It's not like huge things, but it's definitely ways to represent in the game, and that is always appreciated. So like I said, they've given us this quick little trailer that kind of just speeds through everything real quick so you can kind of see what to look for. So let's go ahead and watch that. I did make the volume quite low, so if you can't hear it that well, I'm sorry. I didn't want to blow your ears out. So let's go ahead and watch what they are giving us real quick. I love that they ended it with show your pride every day, because everyone was like, okay, this is great and all, but why is it coming in like the beginning of April instead of Pride Month? I don't think you have to wait till Pride Month to come out with Pride content. I mean, obviously I come out with Pride related content all the time, so I never had that thought, but I do appreciate that they say show your pride every day, so the people that are like, why are we getting this so randomly, kind of know. But anyways, that was a really quick trailer. It was only 38 seconds long. I only played 34 seconds of it. I did love that they had a little couple that was so cute. I don't know. I think they did a really good job with that trailer. But if you want to actually have an actual picture, I did find a screenshot that shows off all of the new items with the actual description here, and I'm kind of glad I found this, because in the trailer they didn't show like the kids wearing the content, but apparently the kids also got some of the objects that the adults got. So we have 12 new assets in Create Sim, and you get a button-up tank top and a rolled-up short for both kids and adults, and then we have thigh-high socks for adults. We have sneakers for kids and adults. We have eyeshadow for adults, a tattoo for adults, and then in build mode, we have 3 wall decor items, a shelf, a double bed, and a single bed. So that is actually a decent amount. I wish we had gotten a little more in build and buy, but I'm really happy that we have 2 new beds, because I'm always looking for a new bed. And of course, the pride flags are always appreciated, because before this, we only had 1 base game pride flag. And with this little update, we also got it to where the 1 base game pride flag is now separated into 3 flags that kind of more target certain things. So you have 1 for gender identities, 1 for sexual orientation, and then there's another that more overreach and includes flags that don't quite fit into the other categories. So I'm assuming that refers to things like asexuals or maybe gender fluid, stuff like that. So I think that's really cool that they separate those. My only question is, how are they going to manage when all the flags were 1 item before? So what happens to, like, if you use the original flag in like the trans color? Does this flag get deleted or changed as another color, or do you just, I don't understand how that's supposed to work, but I can appreciate the sorting of the different flag types. But that's pretty much all I could find online about the stuff. So let's go ahead and jump into our game and look at the actual objects. So I've went ahead and decided to start us off in Create a Sim, because typically whenever you start up a new save file in the game, you go into Create a Sim first. So I thought it made sense logically. So right quick, I have made up a quick little sibling duo. So this is the Pride's siblings. So this is our older sibling, Charlie. They are definitely more on the gender neutral and non-binary and asexual side of the spectrum. So this is Charlie, and they want to be a painter extraordinaire. They're genius, they're creative, and they are flirty. And they're going to go ahead and show us all the teens and adult wear that we got. All of these objects are available for the both masculine and feminine frame. Obviously, I made a sim that's in between, but if you were looking to make a more masculine or feminine sim, you could filter by both of those categories to get all these objects. And then, of course, we have their little sister, Jamie, who is the very active type. There's only a couple of things that the kids got, but I figured after we looked at all of them and all the swatches on the adults, we could go ahead and look at it on the kid as well. So first, let's start out with Charlie's makeup. So if you watch my channel, you may realize I don't use a lot of crazy makeup. And normally in the past, that was because most of it's not that good. Like, I use some stuff for specific things, like, we have the vampire eyeshadow, that's a little crazy. You might use that in specific things. You have the Island Living makeup that's very specific to what you might do. But then you have stuff like, the get to work eyeshadow. Just very odd eyeshadows. And because of that, I haven't really used creative eyeshadows in the past. And I will admit that this new eyeshadow is a lot nicer than the other crazy eyeshadows we have, especially for base game. But I don't know how often I'll actually use this. It is nice, I can admit that. I just don't use crazy makeup very often. So if you look at all the swatches on all these new items, they've very much tried to base all the different colors off the different pride flags, which is really cool in the concept, and I do like that. But I feel dumb. I feel very dumb. I know, like, the classes, like, we got the lesbian, we got the bisexual, we have the asexual, but there are so many pride flags now, you guys. And this makes me feel so old. Because I'm sitting here looking at a chart of, like, over 30 different pride flags. And, like, half of them, like, are very similar colors to each other. So I'm scared I'm going to get the meaning of these colors wrong. And if I do, it is not out of disrespect. I am just stupid and kind of old when it comes to all of this new pride culture. Back when I came out, like, I obviously now identify as pansexual, but when I came out, like, pansexual wasn't even a thing. So let alone, like, gender fluid and like polysexual and all that. So if I get this wrong, I do apologize. I'm probably just going to point out the different flags through the makeup, and then we'll just go through all the objects without talking about which flag is which, unless I know for sure. So obviously, the first one is the classic rainbow, our classic gay pride flag. The next one questions me, though, because I don't see pansexual colors in here going on down this way. And these look like pansexual colors, but, like, with more of a purpley pink than pink. But also, there's other ones it could be. So I see, like, polygender kind of these colors. Just the queer flag in general are kind of these colors. Yeah, so it could be either one of those as well. I'm not 100% sure on this one, guys. I know this one is the lesbian flag. I know this one is the bisexual flag. This one, I want to say, oh my god, I keep looking at it and then losing it. Where's the flag with these colors? There's a couple of flags with these colors. I want to say it could either be the gay pride flag, or is that the gay pride? That's the gay pride. I feel like this is gender fluid, but I may be wrong. I'm not 100% sure on that one. But then here we have non-binary colors. Here we have trans colors. Here we have just the male gay pride flag. I know I said called the rainbow the gay pride, but that's like the original gay pride that kind of covered everything before everyone was breaking it down into all these specific categories. This one is the male gay pride flag. And then this one is the, I believe, asexual pride flag. I'm pretty sure. Non-binary and asexual are very similar. It's just like one color off. So those are kind of all the pride flag colors that they're trying to represent. Obviously, like I said, there are so many more at this point. But, that's all the colors that we kind of have going on in all of these objects. So the color flags are also represented in the shirt as well, and it actually has more swatches. I think it just has different designs of different colors. It also has a couple plain swatches as well. So it's not fully pride themed, but it's mostly pride themed. So obviously we have like a rainbowy vibe going on for the shirt. It's just a nice like button up shirt that's like unbuttoned and then has like a tank top underneath. But obviously we have like rainbowy vibes, and this is definitely pansexual colors. I feel like this is definitely pansexual colors. We had the lesbian, we had, I thought it was gender fluid. Okay, I'm not going to try to go name these. I know this is trans. We had the bisexual, asexual, and gender fluid, one of the others. We have black and rainbow, which I think this is really nice, actually. This is a shirt I would use. I like black and rainbow combined. I think that's a good combination. And then we have more of like a funky pattern, just with like kind of random colors. This is more like a pastel tie-dye rainbow shirt. I like that. And then we have plain white and plain black. I really like the black and rainbow. I'm not going to lie. I think this looks really good, especially with the rainbow makeup. I think that looks really nice. And then we got these shorts. These shorts, I don't 100% know how to feel about them, especially with the socks. So these socks are new socks we got. And I think this whole outfit would be such a cute fit if the socks just were a little shorter. Because with the length they decided to make the shorts, like, you don't get the, like, skin showing, I guess. Which I guess some people would like that. But I would like a little bit of skin to show. So I would like either the socks to be shorter or the shorts to be shorter. But I still think each object is cute. So let's look at the shorts. So we have these rolled up, torn shorts that have like a rainbow and a board on it, which is so cute. We have a different pride flag color rainbow on it. We have the lesbian. We have the trans. We have bisexual. Another color. We have the black with either the non-binary or the asexual. The other one. And that's pansexual. That is definitely pansexual. Okay, so we have those shorts, which I think is a really subtle but cute way to bring in some pride. I actually like the shorts. Like I said, I just don't like them with the socks. But speaking of the socks, we can go here. Are these under socks or leggings? Okay, these are under socks, not leggings. So we have some more base game socks that come in even more swatches. Oh my goodness. Okay, so we have a very rainbow dash vibe sock. It has all the different pride rainbows on it with like a rainbow dash base. I know some of you guys have no idea what I'm talking about, but then we had the same thing, but like a black and purple vibe, which I think is cool. We have a white and yellow version of those socks. And then we have like rainbow, like almost fish scales, which is interesting. Same thing, but with trans. And then we got some diamond trans. We got some like pastel rainbow. We got some regular rainbow diamonds. Then we have plain black, which is honestly very nice. We also have plain white, plain pink, plain red, plain purple. I actually like the purple. And the teal. The teal is really nice. Green. We have yellow. And then we have some more trans, which I really appreciate the fact that they're putting in all these different trans colors just because of what's going on in the world right now, especially in the US where I'm from, just like all the trans bands and whatnot. I think this is a really nice but random but nice way to kind of show the LGBT members, especially the T members in the Sims community, that hey, you know, we have all this shit going on right now, but we're here for you. So I do appreciate that. I do think this was I wish they had announced it beforehand though. But the last thing in Create a Sim here is that we have these new tennis shoes, which honestly are actually adorable. Let me like take off the socks so you can look at them and kind of see the height they come at. They kind of give high top vibes, which I'm a huge fan of because I collect high top Converse. So I think that's really cute. So let's look at all the different colors. So obviously we have a pastel rainbow. We have like the pansexual colors. We have a classic rainbow, lesbian, bisexual, and trans. You know, all the different colors that we've been getting. But we also have them in black and white, which these straight up look like just Converse. And I'm digging it. I'm digging it. We already had shoes that kind of look like Converse, but these look more accurate. Just obviously minus like the star on the side. But I kind of like the black shoes for her. Hold on. I was going to try to go with a very colorful vibe, but maybe I try to bring in the flag for her. So we could go with that. We got to change the socks, though. The socks are not going to work in this bright blue color. Maybe we go with the black and purple socks. I kind of like that. We'll go with that for our Charlie, and this is what they look like in their full outfit. If I ever said she, I do apologize because I'm very bad at giving they them pronouns and then saying she. So I'm sorry if I did that. But their little sister is a she, and this is Jamie. They do have a gender neutral name though. But all this kids got, I believe, were shorts and the shoes. I'm going to double check the socks, but I don't think the kids didn't get the socks, unfortunately. I think those would have been really cute on kids. I'm just saying. But we had the same shoes and the same shorts for the kids. Again, both masculine and feminine categories, but they have all these same swatches here, just in kid versions, which I think is cute. I think like the kids need more Pride content. Also, we have like this shirt from the past. Like this was a shirt we got on a free patch update for Pride, but like, I don't feel like the kids have a lot that's rainbow. So then we also have the shoes as well. So we have all the different color shoes on the kid. So that is everything in Create a Sim. I don't know. I think it's cute. I think this is a cute little set, especially just for an SDX shop. This is pretty good amount. If this was a full-on patch update, I would say this was hardly anything. But for an SDX shop, this is a decent amount of stuff. So let's go ahead and jump into Build and Buy real quick and see the couple of objects they gave us in Build and Buy. Alright, so since this is a base game update, I decided to drop our family into a little base game home and put in the new and some of the improved objects. So let's just jump right in with the new actual wall decor, which includes 2 different Pride flags and a shelf with Pride content. So in the past, we have gotten regular, just like across Pride flags, but these are our first up and down Pride flags. So this is actually a knitted flag, which I think is super cute and realistic for people to have, and is a nice enough size that you could like combine them with different other pictures to make collages and whatnot. So it has all the different swatches, like it literally has like all the flags, like not just some of them, that it has like all of them. It has all of them that I was looking at on this chart. Like, even the ones that Create a Sim didn't have, it has in this one. So, very well done. Like I said, I don't know all of these flags because I'm old, but it has all of them pretty much. I can't really see one that I can think of that's not on this. And then we also kind of have a pride flag that's already in a collage. So as I mentioned, this one you could like easily put other pictures. Maybe if you even sliced it down, you could really use it in a different collage. But this one comes pre-collage. So it has some neon signs, some posters, some little picture, like printout pictures, and then it has a pride flag that's like signed. I guess that could give like the story of maybe your Sims like in high school, and like on the last day of high school, like all their friends sign their flag. I don't know. I think it's cute though, and it has all the different colors, and each one of the flags has the pictures and neon signs that kind of match, and they all have a little rainbow neon sign, which I think is so cute. I don't know. I'm pansexual, so I'm going to choose the pansexual swatch. And then we have this new little bookshelf. So it is actually a functional shelf. You can place things on here, but it comes in like a bunch of little pride colors, so it's obviously meant to more so go like by the front door or the back doors. I mean, it has a pair of keys, it has a little ID card, your bag, your coat, but also the keys are so flat. The keys are so flat. Like if you go here, you can hardly see them. Like you can kind of see them, but I don't know. It's kind of a bad quality item in my opinion. I definitely feel like they've given us better entry shelves quality looking wise, but I do like the style of this one more. So it has all the colors, and even the shirt has some of the same swatches as the shirt we got in Kratos Sim. I think that is so cute. Not all of them, but like, we had this swatch and stuff. I don't know. I think it's cute. It's cute, but it's not the cutest little entry item we've gotten. And then as far as items they've approved upon, quote unquote, we have the pride flags that I was talking about earlier that we got in another update. So this is what the original flag looked like. I sized these two down just so we could fit them all on the wall. But this is the size that it came in. And originally it had these colors plus these colors and these colors. I think they've added some in here with the addition of all the ones they added in with these flags. But originally it was all in one flag. Now if you look at it and we go here, let me go ahead and just filter by base game so we can look at it specifically. But as you can see, we have the pride flag, which has all like the rainbow swatches and the classic like most represented swatches. And then we have a gender identity, which has like the trans and gender fluid and non-binary. And then we have sexual orientation, which is the one that has like the lesbian, the pansexual, the gay. So it's definitely easier to identify what is what with this. I question how it's going to work in the game with builds that already had pride flags on them before the update, now that they're 3 different items when they were one item. I don't know. If you guys have figured that out, let me know, because I'm very curious. And then the last things in the game were the new beds. So we got not only a new double bed, which I always appreciate, but we actually got a single bed as well, which I feel like we don't get single beds very often, especially free in the base game. So we're gonna look at this one first, and then this matches all of the swatches on the big bed, so I will show you off in the big bed as well. But as you can see here, it has a pride color blanket with a little throw over it, a colorful pillow, and then it has like the actual like pride flag colors in the back on like the headboard, which I think is cute. It looks like the woods do change, unfortunately. I kind of wish they would have made all the wood colors the same. But that's kind of the... They do that in The Sims 4. It's just kind of a Sims 4 thing. And it looks like it also has a gray and white and a black and gray swatch. So that's nice. as well. I think, obviously, I like the pansexual colors, but honestly, I think the trans color one is really cute. I like that one a lot. And then we have the double bed version as well, which I've placed up here in the master bedroom in the space game. So as you can see, all the same swatches, just in a bigger bed. I don't know. I think this is a really cute bed. I like it. I would probably definitely use it more for like teenage rooms, but I still like it. And that is it. That is all the objects we got. Like I said, it was just an STX drop, so it wasn't like a super big or meant to be a super big patch. I just feel like they probably did this considering all of what's going on in the world right now with the LGBT community, especially the T's. So I definitely appreciate this. Like I said, I will always take new free content, especially when it's Pride related. But now that we've looked at all the objects and talked about all the things that came for free, I want to talk about some of the stuff going on in the Sims community just real quick. So earlier this week, for a very brief time, I'm talking like 2-3 days in very restricted areas, and it was not announced very broadly because it wasn't available in a lot of areas. But basically, in the last week, for a couple of days, they put out a basically trial run of what they have made for quote-unquote Project Rene. If you don't know what Project Rene is, basically they went on this big announcement and announced that the newest quote-unquote generation of The Sims was coming. It was going to be a new game that was going to be online, where you could play with people live, and it was just supposed to be the whole new generation, to where we would end up getting free content, but then only have to pay for content that would add on to the free content you got. So we would have like seasons, but then we would have to pay for like winter sports. And, you know, with the way they were describing this, everyone just assumed it was going to be The Sims 5. Everyone was like, Sims 5 is coming, Sims 4 has reached the end. And then they kind of announced that it would be going on at the same time as Sims 4. So that kind of debunked The Sims 5 assumptions. And then as stuff started coming out, it was very obvious that it wasn't like, I don't know, the quote new generation that they kind of said. And now we're finding out that it's pretty much a new mobile game, which it is available to play with people, I think, when the final product comes out. And it is, from what I'm seeing in the pictures, it looks like a Sims game, but it's definitely a mobile game. And we've already had the Sims Mobile, the Sims Free Play. You know, we already have all that. And from the results I'm seeing people say, most people are saying they don't understand why it was being made such a big deal. Like, it's more like The Sims 4 than The Sims Mobile and The Sims Free Play, but it's still a mobile game that you're gonna end up having to pay for DLC for. And that's what catches me. When it was The Sims 5, the idea of, you know, free seasons, but winter sports for paid DLC made sense. But now, how much are they gonna milk the DLC in a mobile game? Because mobile games can get expensive. And I feel like EA is very money hungry. So it just concerns me. But they have straight up put out a little news article here about what was kind of in the playtest for the people that did get to play it, which wasn't a lot of people. Like I said, it was limited. They didn't really announce what was going on. It just kind of was like, hey, you know, you get a playtest, maybe. So this is the first picture we're getting of. And as you can see, the Sims are very blocky. And of course, this is a playtest, so it's not final graphics. But you can see here, you can kind of see icons above their head. You can see the name of the sim. I'm assuming this wouldn't just be your sim. Maybe this would be like your actual account. I don't know. You can see a world and whatnot. Well, let's just read what this article says real quick. So it says, EA launches a new limited time smartphone playtest for The Sims Project Rene. The news about The Sims Project Rene are finally starting to arrive this year with the brand new playlist directly from Electronic Arts. After several leaks from September 2024, versions of playtests which involved new findings about battle passes and even age height sliders, we got another playtest today. So like you said, some of this stuff is cool. I don't know how I feel about battle passes. Again, money hungry, but age height sliders are cool. But it says the new playtest title, City Life Game with Friends, which I do believe this is a working title. I don't know if that's going to be the final title, but that's what it was called in the playtest. So City Life Game with Friends seems to be focusing solely on smartphone players. So DLC for smartphones. Possibly collecting analytical data from free roaming players to discover game optimization and user experience preferences. Sorry, there's so many ads on this website. You're just going to have to ignore them. But it says the Project Rene City Life with Friends intro, official test screens, and frequently asked questions. I'm probably not going to look at the frequently asked questions, but we're going to read the intro and look at the screenshots. So we have a little icon here that's kind of showing some of the maybe hairstyles and whatnot. Very much looks like hairstyles we already have in Sims 4. But it says, welcome to the City Life Games with Friends. Create your character a unique person with their own look, style, and story, and join friends and other players to explore a vibrant neighborhood together. Claim new outfits from the thrift shop. So we're getting stuff from like high school years by working at the local cafe or by completing quests. So you can apparently complete quests. Develop your skills, arts, music, and conversation. Work together to design block party venues. Make your wishes come true at the Plaza Fountain. And discover hidden collectibles and more. By joining this playtest, you will be helping small parts in a larger game concept. Blah, 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 blah. So like I said, we have this picture here. Hopefully this isn't the final quality, but it is a mobile game. So, you know. But this is kind of the screenshots we got as the official testers. So you can throw a party. So here we have some of the balloons from a lot of the objects from The Sims 4 is in this game. And I don't know how to feel about that. Like, I don't know if that's a good or a bad thing. I really don't know. But you have like the camera from the My Shuno stuff pack. You have the little balloons from the toddler stuff pack. You know, you have some of the counters. This is a chair from base game. And then you also have the run your own cafe. So they have local cafes here that you can participate in. So it kind of gives Dine Out and other packs in one. We have Show Off Your Talent. So this is kind of the street performing from City Living. As you can see, we kind of have city vibes in the world as well. So I feel like City Living is going to be very incorporated. And it also has like neighborhood hobby meetups apparently, where you could work on like painting. So kind of like business and hobby vibes. So we are seeing where they are adding a lot of the stuff that we have to pay for in The Sims 4 for free in the game. But also they did mention when they talked about it in the past that we would get free stuff, but we would also have stuff we have to pay for. And when it's a mobile game, I don't know how to feel about that. But it just said that they added a bunch of questions here. So if you're more curious how it's going to work, it only happened till April 4th. And this article was released after that. So, you know, but it's fine. Which was just, by the time I'm recording this, was just yesterday. But from what I'm seeing, there's very mixed results on the internet from the people that did play and the screenshots that were given. Obviously, a lot of people were mentioning the quality of the art, but they have mentioned playtest isn't final artwork. Some people were saying it was very basic, like the gameplay was very basic. It wasn't. Pretty much the results I got were it wasn't the hype the Sims team has been making it out to be. I have seen a few people be like, "Oh, it was amazing, I love it," but also those people are also known for having very biased opinions on The Sims. So I'm going more so based off the people that I normally see true criticism off of, and these are just people off Twitter and just like other websites I found, but it's been very mixed results. I've given my opinion. Like, as a free mobile game, I think this would be a pretty cool game, but to have to pay, they're probably going to go crazy with the DLCs, which is going to be my problem. Like, I know that it's notorious for Sims games, but it's a mobile game. So, you know. But then the very last thing I wanted to mention is that there has been more hints at bans. So, I don't know exactly how this relates to the bans. It just says a new official trailer on November 2nd. This person does tend to somewhat be correct sometimes. I haven't seen anyone else post it here. It's just this random clip of like this starting off. So I'm assuming if this was true, which I'm not saying it is because I don't think leaks are true till they are confirmed, but I have heard other people say bans are coming. I thought the next expansion pack was going to be bans. I didn't think it was going to be businesses and hobbies. I have heard other people say that on November 2nd we're getting a reveal trailer. But now people are starting to post about it on Twitter with little clips that may be part of the trailer, may not be. I don't know. I'm just saying the only reason I mention this is I really hope bans are coming. I'm really hopeful. I'm kind of planning already in my head what I'm going to do if we get a bans expansion pack. So I'm just mentioning this in my video mainly to put out the hope. Even though I know that it takes years to make an expansion pack. And if they were to make bans, it would have to be either a gameplay or an expansion pack. So, knowing EA though, money hungry, it's going to be an expansion pack. But other than that, that's pretty much all I have to talk about in this video. The main thing was the Pride update and the Project Rene. But, you know, I just wanted to make a video basically going over all the Sims news that I heard about this week. But anyway, guys, I'm going to end this one here. So thanks so much for watching. Make sure to like, subscribe, and do all awesome stuff because you guys are awesome people. I'll see you next time. All right,